Hey Shortridge, my name is Promise, and welcome back to World Changing 101. Today we're here with Matthew Officer, Social Enterprise Coordinator of 40 West Digital at the MLK Center. Before we get started, teachers and students, last week you should have received a paper with the QR code from World Changing 101 members for you and your students to scan at any time during the live stream. We will be reading your questions off to the interviewee, so don't be afraid to send in anything. So now that that's out of the way, let's get started with the questions. Hi, Matt.
Hi, how you doing, Promise?
Good. Um, so let's start off with this first question.
All right.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your position at the MLK Center?
Okay. Well, my name is Matthew Officer, born and raised in the Indianapolis area. I am an alumnus of Shortridge as a middle school and attended Broad Ripple High School as well, where I studied telecommunications. Actually went part-time to Arsenal Tech for that magnet program back then, way back in the day. But I also attended Ball State University, where I majored in telecommunications with an emphasis on film and video production. And I've, gone to grad school. I've done a lot of things in both television and film world, and specialized locally in a lot of corporate video projects, commercial projects, and I ran a program with Indiana Black Expo called the Youth Media Institute for several years, teaching students, high school and middle school students, video production. So kind of been in the video film production field for most of my adult life. And it started very young when I was in middle school.
That's okay. That's interesting. I was just about to ask, why did you take an interest in film and video production?
I think I was so young when I was exposed to it, and there was experiences that I had even before middle school when I was a part of a program that Miss Michelle Ware Shantz was actually one of the instructors for. It was a program with Indiana Black Expo. Back then it was called the Youth Telecommunications Workshop. And we would, they would take us to Cablevision, and obviously we covered several events, but it was the experience of going to Cablevision, which back then in the late 80s, early 90s they had a thing called public access where you can get, you could pay for time to be able to broadcast your own programming and commercials through your local cable provider. And this was an opportunity that we had as students trying to learn about production. We would be in the studio space and we would just start kind of creating this content off the cuff with the direction of our instructors, learning how to work switchers and cameras and all those things. And I was so fascinated at the process as a young person that it just had a big influence on what I wanted to do career-wise. And I think it was something that was kind of in me as a creative, and yeah, it's just kind of something that stuck. Yeah.
So as I know, you are the social enterprise coordinator for 40 West Digital.
Mhm.
What is 40 West Digital, and what are the benefits of it?
40 West Digital is a program here at the MLK Center within the Best Buy Teen Tech Center. Is a excellent program that we're teaching 17 to 24-year-olds about film production. Within the framework of that film production instruction, you are paid $200 a week to learn, and which is an excellent opportunity for anyone that is looking for part-time work and that's looking to gain a valuable skill, a skill set that is not only transferable, but can literally open up doors for entrepreneurships for yourself, especially in this day and age where social media, just media advertising and promotion, whether it's self-promotion or if it's marketing for other people or other individuals. But it's just a great opportunity to learn a valuable skill, get paid in the process. And a huge part of what I do is create opportunities for young people to take on more production work. So within the program, once you complete the initial course of instruction, you are offered what's kind of an internship opportunity where you can work with us, making hourly wage, and just working on various productions. And we're growing this program. It's still very fresh, very new, but we've already had several students, several cohorts actually complete. And the students that have come through here produced some beautiful work, and we're really proud of what we're creating. But a huge part of my pitch and what I'm wanting to express to you guys is it's just one of those great opportunities. It's a great environment, some excellent professionals that are really dedicated to seeing our students grow in this process and become professionals that are ready to really hit the ground running professionally. Um, and doing some really great work that I love the opportunity to share with you guys.
So just as a quick question, what is the age range for 40 West Digital?
40 West Digital age range is between 17 and 24. We are targeting that age specifically just because we're trying to reach a group that's, people that are maybe about to start college or somewhere in between, people that aren't necessarily college bound, but looking for a vocational skill and an opportunity. And then some unorthodox high school students that may have some scheduled time or just mature enough to kind of handle that kind of work environment to take on some of the demands and responsibility that we're offering students. Other programs within our framework, because not only are we teaching these technical skills, it's very important for us to make sure that we're kind of covering all bases. So, we talk about job readiness. We talk about financial literacy. It's little elements that we try to bring into our curriculum that kind of helps towards that kind of professional development training that we want all of our employees and students to learn about and to adopt into their professional careers.
So my next question is, can you join 40 West Digital with little to no experience in filmmaking and producing?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think like all things, some people are natural athletes. Some people just are naturally artists and have the eye and the vantage point, the perspective to create beautiful work. So once you receive those skills on camera operation and framing and cinematography and all the, we go as deep as sound design as well. But once you pick up on those skills, I think it's been amazing to see how students that had virtually no experience have like really become some great storytellers and pretty technically sound filmmakers. So yeah, it's you have really need absolutely no experience to be able to do what we do. I mean, obviously, I like to say my years of experience, I've developed a certain expertise, but we definitely want people that have little to no experience but have a passion and an interest in this to take advantage of the opportunity.
So for someone who has little to no experience, do you guys in 40 West Digital, do you guys typically try to ease them in? How does that work as someone who has no experience?
Yeah, our thing is very much hands-on. We as being in the educational system and understanding how that works, we're not we understand there's a curriculum that we've developed, but it's very much hands-on, and we're not trying to make you feel like you're coming into ninth period. So everything we do is about putting the technology and whether it's the computers, the cameras, and those things in your hands pretty early, so we can kind of gauge where you're at and help you along in that process. So it's we try to make it as entertaining and fun, but obviously technically sound as possible, to make sure that everybody is engaged and we're meeting people where they're at and then bringing them forward.
So my next question is, what benefits do you believe a student will gain from this experience?
I think like anything, I've been a great beneficiary of so many great opportunities in this city, whether it was TCOM programs that I participated in school, whether it was the extended programs like through Indiana Black Expo or things that like we're doing at MLK or the CLDs. Like, exposure is everything. And sometimes career exploration, even if it's not a career that you choose, it's really about the professional development of it and the peer engagement and all the things that the doors that these opportunities open up for young people. So I think that has great value, exposure to new things and to something that could spark a great interest and passion in folks that helps them discover their talents and the possibilities. Like I said, exposure and part of the process of what we do is exposing our students to other professionals in various areas of production in the multitude of ways that we're able to make a living doing what we do. So I think all of that has great value.
And what type of equipment will students work with?
We've got a whole Canon suite and host of camera equipment, from lighting, tripods, cameras, monitors. We're a production company of sorts. So, yeah, we have everything. We have several Mac computers, and we're all outfitted with the Premiere Creative Suite. So we pretty much got all the toys that you could ever hope and ask for in terms of production services and for learning opportunities. We've got a lot of DSLR cameras. We shoot, got multiple formats, including 4K. So yeah, we have a lot to offer in terms of technology.
So here's like a little bit more of a get to know you type of question.
Sure.
What is your favorite film or movie production?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I'm a huge film lover, and I love so many movies. It's kind of hard to settle on one. I can't even remember the last time I was asked that. And let me just throw. I don't want to leave you guys hanging on the answer.
You can do like top 5 if that's easier. Like top
Yeah,
5.
that's even harder. Goodfellas is up there for me. That's a great film. Oh man, I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll just say Goodfellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have like a favorite director or?
I'm a huge fan of Christopher Nolan. I'm a huge fan of Spike Lee. I'm a huge fan of Martin Scorsese, and Steven Spielberg. Alfred Hitchcock. I like a wide range of directors, and those are probably I think that was maybe 5 or 6 that I named. So yeah.
So can you share with us some of the projects that you've worked on throughout your career?
Sure. Man, I've commercial wise done a lot of stuff locally, like from everything from McDonald's commercials to projects for Ivy Tech. Obviously, when I was with Indiana Black Expo, I did a lot of commercial advertising for their events. Film wise, I've worked on, Batman Begins, Roll Bounce, Spider-Man, television shows like ER, Prison Break, other films like Let's Go to Prison. Like it's a laundry list of a wide variety of television shows and films that I've worked on. Generally in the Chicago market is where I got my feet wet, working on set and in some production offices to begin with as well.
So what was that environment like to work on like professional studios, like commercials, or working on, like you said, Batman, Spider-Man? What's that environment like?
It sounds so exciting, and it is on some page. When you're in it, you don't necessarily recognize, like you can, it's easy to be starstruck when, you're standing close to Christian Bale or Christopher Nolan and folks like that. But at the same time, it's so professional in terms of what's expected, not only of us conduct wise, but, it's exciting, but it's tough, specifically on Batman Begins. We were working on average, probably 15, 16-hour days. Literally, so it can be it can be a lot, but it's well worth it. When you talk about just getting that kind of experience and exposure under your belt, and it was a great opportunity. Probably a lot more laid back and fun than a lot of people realize. But then at the same time, when there's a job to do, you just have to be on point and be ready to step up and do whatever's asked or needed of you, and obviously to make sure that you're executing your role as best possible, and always being a representative of myself, my family, and my city. And being in other markets outside of this area, I've always tried to represent myself well professionally, and to make sure that I work harder than expected. And that's like any opportunity. If you want to, you can get an opportunity, but to stay within that opportunity, you have to, make sure you shine brighter than most around you. And that's why I was able to kind of jump to production the way that I did.
So my next question is, do you like the travel aspect of the business of the business, or do you like doing local work better?
I love the travel aspect. I think what took me out of that whole production, television, film production thing on that level, um, was raising a family and wanting to come back to my city and do that comfortably and in an environment that was both familiar and supportive. Um, so I think there's great power in establishing your own projects and your own creative works. It's fun to work on worldwide, national, commercials and content, whether it's film, commercial, or television. But there's so much power in creating your own vehicles, because those are calling cards, and those are the things that open up so much opportunity for directors, producers, writers, actors, etc. So I do love big projects, but when you're able to create your own vehicles, you can kind of dictate which direction you're going, and people respect that. And several directors, notable directors, that have started out independently creating film works and writing scripts, directing, that have gotten studio deals and continuously have worked since those smaller productions because their work speaks for itself. So I love local projects. I think there's great synergy and a lot of great projects that are being developed and that have been shot in the city. And a huge part of our program is developing the talent that will be able to take on those kind of productions. So we're not necessarily having to rely on outside production companies and studios bringing and flying everybody in that they need, but they can actually touch a market here, a working group of people here that are qualified, most importantly, qualified to take on that same level of responsibility.
So, what's been your favorite project here that you worked on? Like your
Now,
favorite local project?
uh, let me see. Here locally, um, it's kind of hard to say. I can't really say I have a favorite. I think most of them have been enjoyable. I've liked the campaign of McDonald's commercials that I did, highlighting Black History Month for several years. I'm very proud of that work, and those are always fun because of the relationship that I developed with that local group to produce those regional spots. Um, I've done stuff for IU Health, both in front of the camera and behind. And I've never really, I've been blessed that I've never really had a negative experience in any of the productions, even from like some of the crazier, racier hip hop videos that I participated in, when I was younger, trying to develop that talent and that experience. So yeah, it's I can't really say I have a favorite.
Okay.
I think I enjoyed, and let me, here I come answering the question now. I I loved some of the memories I have from working as a freelance videographer for the World Basketball Games, like in the early 2000s. That was really fun, just to be able to see so much young international talent that actually guys that became stars in the NBA later on. That was really interesting and fun to see. Plus, obviously the more recognizable American players that participated too. So, yeah.
Okay. So just going back a little bit to back when you went to Shortridge, I'm just curious, what was the culture like at Shortridge? Since it was a middle school when you were here, so what was the culture like?
It's so funny because I've experienced Shortridge, within the last 10 or 15 years, and to be there last week with you guys, it feels like it's kind of returned to the original feeling that I had when I was a middle school student in Shortridge. Like it was always very much a performing arts kind of school. So it kind of catered to a creative group, but then it was our core curriculum and the education we received was very focused. So it was like we had what we referred to back then as magnet programs. And those were just specialized areas of study. My choice being TCOM. I think we had humanities and math and science. The various options that people could kind of directions that they could learn in. And that kind of focus back then was so valuable for us in our development, in our learning, because it gave us a path, and then it allowed us to we found value in those things. The people that were in the music magnets, and it was it was a great experience because I think even professionally, a lot of people that went into those various fields, that foundation that it laid for me and us um, was had a long lasting effect on our lives. So I love Shortridge. It's still as beautiful as ever. I hope you guys truly appreciate the wonderful, beautiful environment that you have to learn in, because it's easy to take it for granted, but Shortridge is still as beautiful as ever, and still seems to have great energy.
Yeah. So my question is, what path? So we know that not everybody's path to their main career is linear. What path did you follow after high school to continue your path toward your career?
I was my path was somewhat unorthodox. Like many, and like a lot of young people, and I hope you guys pay attention to this, especially my young black males. Um, I did not go to college right away. I was doing all the right things in college, or I was doing all the right things in high school, and then at the same time, I wasn't. So I was just focused enough to get by, but I wasn't really as prepared as I should have been to go to college. So fortunately for me, I had enough support and was motivated enough to take the SATs and the ACTs almost a year after graduating from high school. Um, and getting into Ball State on kind of an academic probation situation, um, and making that work for me. So I was someone that was unprepared because I didn't utilize or take advantage of all the opportunities that were kind of laid out for me. I was still kind of busy being a knucklehead and having fun, instead of kind of cracking down and focusing on that transition to college. So I had to sit out a year to kind of refocus and get that together. And once I did, the rest is history. I was able to go on the Ball State, to major in telecommunications, and I never looked back. So it's my education in Ball State is what laid the foundation for me professionally, and it's a great experience.
So, I think, is there, so I know that you do film, like, and you record and everything, and you are actually like behind the camera, but do you like to typically be in front of the camera? Like, or is that like a
Oh,
boundary you won't cross, or?
yeah, like I hope y'all don't pull up some video that's missing footage. But no, I love being in front of the camera as well. I've done some acting. I've done some local film projects. So I think I love to write and create. Um, but I think as much as I do enjoy certain roles that I've been able to participate in, I just prefer to be behind the camera, but opportunity is opportunity. Anytime that I've just recently acted in one of my students' films, and felt like I was a bit rusty, but it's as an artist, and as a supporter, most importantly, with our students, um, I just learn to wear multiple hats, and I do believe I have a little small talent in acting, so I do enjoy it from time to time.
So just one last thing about this, not one last thing, but just I want to hear one more time about 40 West Digital. Can you tell us one more time about the apprenticeship, when it starts, and how can people apply?
Yes, the dates are to come. I wish I had on the flyer. I believe does that flyer have the uh, the code to scan for the application information? Let's look at that. Okay, not on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will send you that information. Hopefully you can share that with students too, 'cause that just makes it easy to see our application process, which is very simple. But yeah, we are looking to start our program at the end of this month. Dates to come, but it's coming up really quick. So we're asking young people that are interested to contact me, to go to our website to get information, which I'll provide you everything that you could possibly need, to be able to apply for our program and get involved. 40 West Digital is an opportunity. Like I said, it's a paid opportunity. We're paying our students $200 a week to learn about film production and everything from camera operation to cinematography to sound design. Um, we're teaching you guys all of those valuable skills to become young shooters and creatives, and it's what you do with these opportunities are really on you. We're just going to open up doors to where if you want to stay in the fold and grow this skill and this expertise, then the sky is the limit.
So that's all we have for today. Mr. Officer, we thank you so much for joining World Changing 101 today. You took your time out of your busy schedule to speak to us Shortridge students. We appreciate you being here with us. Blue Devils, tune in next week to for World Changing 101 with your teachers to hear more voices from our community. And if you're interested in 40 West Digital, be on the lookout on Schoology or on the Shortridge Instagram, and also I know 40 West Digital's Instagram for updates and sign up links. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.